The 2000 film Remember the Titans inspired the world with its message of unity and breathtaking football moments. But 25 years later, the lives of the cast have been marked by shocking and often tragic events. From unexpected accidents and sudden deaths to resounding success at a high price, their stories show just how costly true success can be. Join us as we uncover the truth behind their journey and celebrate the legacy they have strived to leave behind. Will Patton as Coach Bill Yost. Will Patton was born on June 14, 1954, in Charleston, South Carolina. At age 46, he played Coach Bill Yost in the 2000 film Remember the Titans, a calm, principled mentor whose quiet strength guided the team through turbulent times. That role showed him as a man who always held to his integrity, even when it cost him everything. But the composure he displayed on screen didn't reflect the turmoil in his private life. Will never married, but he spent nearly a decade in a committed relationship with an actress he met on an off-Broadway play in the late 1990s. As his career stalled and he consistently landed supporting roles, financial pressure began to mount. Arguments over money, long periods of separation due to filming schedules, and his growing emotional distance pushed the relationship to the brink of collapse. When she left in 2009, taking with her the family plans they had once made together, Will fell into a period of depression that he rarely talks about. That same year, he was arrested for drunk driving in South Carolina. The incident exposed to the public the mental breakdown he had kept hidden for years. By the early 2000s, acting roles dwindled, and Will was forced to take on audiobook voiceover work just to pay his rent. During that challenging period, he recorded over 60 films, often spending 12 hours a day alone in the recording studio, a grueling schedule that exacerbated his insomnia and anxiety. When Yellowstone revived his career in 2018, he struggled with chronic back pain from decades of performing dangerous action roles and recurring panic attacks from overwork. Now 71, Will Patton continues to act but carefully avoids long takes and physically demanding projects. He lives a quiet life, still working in film and audiobook voiceovers, but only under conditions that protect his already frail health. His net worth is estimated at around $7 million, a modest sum accumulated through perseverance rather than a lavish lifestyle. Denzel Washington as Coach Herman Boone. Denzel Washington was born on December 28, 1954, in Mount Vernon, New York. At age 46, Denzel played Coach Herman Boone in the 2000 film Remember the Titans, a strong, uncompromising leader who united a divided football team during one of the most racially tense periods in American sports history. The role demanded authority, restraint, and emotional weight, and he portrayed it with unwavering resilience throughout the film. Behind the strength audiences saw on screen, Denzel was struggling to preserve his marriage. He married Pauletta Pearson in 1983, and the pressures of fame, long filming schedules, and differences in parenting styles led them into years of painful misunderstandings. The greatest tension came when their son, John David, chose acting as a career. Arguments about expectations and identity created a rift that haunted Denzel throughout the stressful preparation for the 2001 film Training Day. His long struggle with alcohol deepened emotional rifts within his family and forced him to seek therapy to regain control. Even as his career flourished with Glory, 1989, and later Fences, 2016, the physical and mental damage became increasingly difficult to ignore. Age compelled him to monitor his cardiovascular health. Nevertheless, he worked hard to preserve his family, rebuilding trust with Pauletta and their 4 children over a long and careful process. Today, Denzel Washington, 71, focuses more on producing and advising than starring in blockbuster films. He remains devoted to his family, living a more stable life shaped by his faith, recovery, and the valuable lessons learned from his career. His estimated net worth is around $300 million, accumulated over decades of acting, directing, and careful investing. Gregory Allen Williams as Coach Paul Doc Hines. Gregory Allen Williams was born on June 12, 1956, in Des Moines, Iowa. At age 44, he played Coach Paul Doc Hines in the 2000 film Remember the Titans, a strict, disciplined assistant coach who always maintained order on and off the court. His presence brought the stability and practicality the team needed during the most turbulent times. Off-field, his marriage to Donna Reed, whom he married in 1984, was constantly challenged by the emotional burden of his past. As a former U.S. Marine, Gregory had lived with untreated post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, after witnessing the deaths of fellow soldiers in Vietnam. Those memories haunted him even after returning to his daily life, causing anger, nightmares, and long periods of emotional withdrawal. By the late 1980s, the psychological trauma escalated into alcoholism, nearly destroying both his marriage and his early acting career. Recovery was slow and painful, but even after quitting alcohol, career disappointment created new rifts in his family. Hollywood often assigned him racially stereotypical roles, forcing him to turn down several major projects because he didn't want to be typecast. These decisions, while morally sound, created more conflict for Donna as they struggled with periods of lost income and canceled projects. His diagnosis of prostate cancer in 2000, the same year the film Remember the Titans was released, pushed their marriage to the brink of collapse, forcing him to undergo surgery and years of medical treatment. Gregory Allen Williams, now 69 years old, continues to regularly act in shows like The Righteous Gemstones, while also writing and producing films. His net worth is estimated at around $8 million, built over decades of perseverance, writing, acting, and a grueling recovery process. Ethan Suplee as Louis Lastic. Ethan Suplee was born on May 25, 1976, in Manhattan, New York City. At age 24, he played Louis Lastic in the 2000 film Remember the Titans? And a cheerful, kind-hearted football player who broke down racial barriers with his endearing sincerity. His presence brought some of the most human moments to the film. But Ethan's off-screen battle was a battle against his own body and mind. When his weight skyrocketed to over 500 pounds after the film My Name is Earl, his health deteriorated. Type 2 diabetes, severe sleep apnea, and intense joint pain made it almost impossible for him to climb stairs. His eating addiction exacerbated his depression, and he later admitted to considering suicide during the show's final season. His marriage to Brandy Lewis also faced significant challenges under this pressure. Arguments erupted over late-night binge eating, hospital visits, and the fear that Ethan might not live long enough to see their children grow up. In 2010, Brandy gave him an ultimatum: seek help or the marriage would fall apart, and that devastated him to the point of seeking therapy and nutritional support. The recovery process required a complete transformation. Ethan adopted a strict diet, long-distance cycling, and Muay Thai training, eventually losing over 200 pounds, approximately 90 kilograms. However, this physical transformation had unexpected emotional consequences. He realized that much of his previous acting success was due to his large physique, and as he lost weight, those roles disappeared. The film industry's indifference plunged him into another bout of depression that he had to confront head-on. Today, Ethan Suplee, 49, is healthy, active, and shares his journey on the American Glutton podcast. His net worth is estimated at around $4 million, accumulated over decades of work in the film industry and a steady recovery. Ryan Hurst as Jerry Berthier. Ryan Hurst was born on June 19, 1976, in Santa Monica, California. At age 24, he played Jerry Berthier in the 2000 film Remember the Titans. His portrayal of the captain, with his transformation from prejudice to brotherhood, became one of the most memorable characters in the series. His performance exuded sincerity that made the role timeless. But in real life, Ryan faced far darker hardships. During the filming of Sons of Anarchy, the death of a close co-star left him emotionally devastated. Depression crept in silently, then completely overwhelmed him, driving him to drugs to cope with the pressures of filming. What began as a quick coping mechanism turned into dependence, and by the time production ended, he was in dire straits, selling memorabilia, liquidating assets, and eventually having to borrow money just to survive. His behavior became erratic, and his wife, Molly Cookson, endured nights without phone calls, broken promises, and long disappearances during his cycles of depression. Their marriage nearly crumbled under the weight of his addiction. Molly left twice, forcing Ryan to confront the damage he had caused. They argued about his inability to be fully present, about the money he had squandered, and about his refusal to seek help, an act of self-destruction. It was only when they built the Fast Shoes production company that they gradually learned how to rebuild trust. The company became a bridge between them. Today, Ryan Hurst, 49, is still working steadily in acting and voice acting after returning to a healthier lifestyle. His estimated net worth is around $2 million, carefully rebuilt after years of losses, recovery, and a lengthy process of overcoming mental breakdown. Brett Rice as Coach Herb Tyrell. Brett Rice was born on April 20, 1954, in Chattanooga, Tennessee. At age 46, he played Coach Herb Tyrell in the 2000 film, Remember the Titans? And he was a seasoned assistant coach whose calm demeanor and extensive experience helped stabilize the locker room during the team's most challenging transitional periods. But behind his calm on-screen persona lay a marriage fraught with difficulties stemming from decades of financial strain. Brett married Lori Kennedy in 1980, and the early years of their marriage were marked by unstable income and long periods of unemployment. In the 1990s, as acting roles dwindled, Brett was forced to perform at small local theaters and take on temporary jobs just to support his family. Constant pressure pushed him toward a mild gambling addiction, initially subtle, then devastating, leading to mounting debt and bitter family conflicts. Lori's frustration grew as Brett concealed losses and loans behind her back, turning their marriage into a vicious cycle of resentment, apologies, and short-lived promises of change. Even when his career revived with the 1994 film Forrest Gump, new problems emerged. During that decade, while taking on numerous action roles, Brett suffered a serious back injury during a stunt rehearsal, ultimately requiring surgery and months of painful recovery. The injury sidelined him for nearly a year, further jeopardizing the family's finances and reigniting old arguments about responsibility and safety. Lori was there for him, but only after counseling helped them both confront years of frustration and unspoken fear about an uncertain future. Brett Rice, now 71, continues to perform in stable supporting roles, including a prominent role in the 2016 film Sully. He maintains a stable life with his wife Lori after decades of ups and downs and rebuilding. His net worth is estimated at around $2 million, earned from television, film, and his tireless efforts. Ryan Gosling as Alan Bosley. Ryan Gosling was born on November 12, 1980, in London, Ontario. At age 20, he played Alan Bosley in the 2000 film Remember the Titans, a tall, lean, and charming athlete who learns to overcome prejudice and embrace teamwork. This small but memorable role marked the quiet beginning of an early, explosive global career. But after the movie The Notebook made him a romantic icon in 2004, Ryan fell into a personal identity crisis. The pressure to embody the perfect lover in the film strained his real-life relationship with Rachel McAdams, and when they broke up, he completely withdrew. For 2 years, he stopped acting because he no longer recognized himself in the public's illusions. His relationship with Eva Mendes, which began in 2011, brought stability but also created new tensions, keeping their relationship secret. Coupled with long filming schedules for Blade Runner 2049, First Man, and Barbie, created cycles of estrangement and resentment. There were months when one parent was almost single-handedly raising 2 daughters, leading to arguments about priorities, fame, and the price of ambition. Eva's retirement from acting exacerbated the imbalance, and Ryan often felt torn between his responsibilities as a father and the relentless demands of blockbuster films. Now 45, Ryan Gosling remains a leading Hollywood star with many big projects ahead. His net worth is estimated at around $70 million, sustained by decades of iconic acting, from Drive to La La Land to Barbie, despite the emotional wounds that fame has inflicted on him. Wood Harris as Julius Campbell. Wood Harris was born on October 17, 1969, in Chicago, Illinois. At age 31, he played Julius Campbell in the 2000 film Remember the Titans, a strong but taciturn defense leader whose friendship with Jerry Bertier became an emotional highlight of the film's message of unity. His performance possessed a quiet intensity that only he could portray, but behind that strength lay a life shaken by addiction and emotional trauma. His first marriage crumbled when the success of the TV series The Wire became alluring in the worst way. The role of Avon Barksdale brought him fame, but also dragged him into the very world of drugs that the series exposed. Cocaine abuse led to violent family arguments, and when he missed mandatory counseling sessions ordered by the court, he temporarily lost custody of his first child. His second marriage to Rebecca Harris brought stability, but it was not without its deep cracks. They constantly argued about his prolonged absences on consecutive projects like Paid in Full, Empire, and BMF, and the financial pressure of supporting his younger brother, actor Steve Harris. During his long period of unemployment added to the tension in their family. At one point, Wood turned down a potentially career-changing film because Rebecca threatened to separate if he left again, forcing him to choose between ambition and family. Their eventual reconciliation only came after months of therapy and a painful acknowledgement of the emotional damage caused by years of prioritizing work. Now 56. Wood Harris remains actively involved in major projects and continues to appear in BMF while balancing his acting career. His net worth is estimated at around $500,000. Donald Faison as P.D. Jones. Donald Faison was born on June 22, 1974, in Harlem, New York City. At age 26, he played P.D. Jones in the 2000 film Remember the Titans, a dynamic, sharp winger whose humor helped ease simmering racial tensions within the team. His performance brought warmth and lightness to a story built on a foundation of conflict. But Donald's real life unfolded in far less cheerful ways. His first major setback came in his marriage to Lisa Askey, whom he married in 2001 after years of navigating the hardships of his early career. The pressures of raising 3 young children, coupled with an unstable income and long working days in surgical gowns, fueled heated arguments about responsibility and money. Their 2005 divorce led to a painful custody battle that left him mentally and financially exhausted. With 6 children from 2 relationships, Donald found himself overwhelmed by child support payments at a time when his career was in decline. His second marriage to Casey Cobb, which began in 2012, was more stable but not without its challenges. Rumors of infidelity caused months of distrust, leading Casey to confront him about his emotional apathy and increasing distance after work. They only overcame the crisis through marriage counseling and by re-establishing strict boundaries, forcing Donald to balance career ambitions with the demands of a mixed-gender family, which suddenly expanded after Lisa Askey's death in 2017, when her children moved in with them. Grief, combined with the pressure of becoming a full-time caregiver overnight, tested his patience and strained the family more than the public ever knew. In 2025, Donald Faison, 51 years old, is still acting, doing podcasts with Zach Braff, and maintaining an active social media presence. His net worth is estimated at around $12 million, accumulated from decades of work in sitcoms, voice acting, and television hosting. Kip Pardue as Ronnie Sunshine Bass. Kip Pardue was born on September 23, 1975, in Atlanta, Georgia. At age 25, he played Ronnie Sunshine Bass in the 2000 film Remember the Titans, a talented quarterback with calm confidence who helped unite a fractured team. His natural charm on screen made the role instantly memorable, but his real life later crumbled in a way that fame couldn't protect him from. The 2018 sexual harassment allegations from actress Sarah Scott dealt a major blow to his career, leaving him with little chance of recovery. The $6,000 fine from SAG-AFTRA resulted from studios abruptly cutting ties, projects collapsing mid-negotiation, and scripts silently disappearing from his email inbox. The scandal haunted him everywhere, and every attempt to rebuild his career was met with silence and unspoken judgment. The years of being sidelined from his career plunged Kip into prolonged periods of depression. He tried to return to modeling, but the industry refused to see him through the sensational headlines. Producing small, independent projects gave him purpose, but the instability created financial pressure and shame at no longer being the rising star who was once ranked among the top 10 most promising models. He often privately admits that the hardest part wasn't the accusation, but watching his reputation crumble to a single scandal he couldn't erase. Today, Kip Pardue, now 50, quietly works behind the camera as a producer. His net worth is estimated at around $1 million, largely amassed from past roles as his acting career has never fully recovered.